You know who doesn't kill themselves?
Who?
People who play superheroes. Frickin' Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, big, beautiful bastards and bastardettes who, look just frickin', awesome and get to go out with people who look awesome and just are like, they're peak physical specimens.
Where is this leading us to?
Well, they're well adapted physically in a Darwinian sense, or in a fake Darwinian sense, because really Darwinian adaptation isn't just about whether you can play a superhero. But, like, if you're a big, beautiful bastard who gets to, have sex with big, beautiful bastardettes or other bastards if you're into that, whatever. If you're at home in a big, beautiful superhero body, you're probably going to be happy on a statistical basis. Sure, you can be frickin'. The guy who played the first Superman, George Reeves, may or may not, probably killed himself.
Wasn't there some sort of mystery?
There was a mystery about whether it was suicide or whether it was just made to look like suicide. And he wasn't as big and beautiful a bastard as today's modern big, beautiful bastards.
Is there a point to this?
Yeah, the point is, say you're not at home in your skin. Like, I think Chris Hemsworth wakes up and he's probably at home in his skin. He's like, yeah, and he gets up and he's like, he probably feels pretty good about being Chris Hemsworth. Ditto for Chris Evans. Ditto for frickin' Ryan Reynolds. Those guys are probably much more likely to wake up and feel at home in their skin, their beautiful fucking skin, than say, somebody who's got an issue with gender. Those guys could have an issue with gender, but they haven't demonstrated that. But somebody who's kind of not I'm an old guy now. But there were lots of times when I woke up and I was not at home in my body. Not that I had a gender issue. My issue was, look at my stupid fucking teenage body. It's shitty. And then later, look at my stupid, 20-year-old, in my 20s and 30s, my stupid varicose veins. And now that I'm in my 50s, I don't see it, but every time I take a shit, my asshole falls out of my body and I have to push it back in.
Rick, what are you getting at?
I'm saying that's sad making. And so, there are physical reasons for not being at home in your body, not being satisfied with the way you look. But there are also reasons like gender issues. Like if you feel like you might be a woman in a man's body or vice versa, or however you characterize it, or if you're gender fluid or shit like that, and it's going to lead to maybe not being as happy as fucking Chris Hemsworth. And you like to argue that, that it's pure insanity and that if you could make frickin' those, transgender people like psychologically healthy, then everything's going to be cool. But I'm never going to be Chris Hemsworth. I'm never going to go out with Scarlett Johansson or Miley Cyrus. I'm never going to be 6'2". I'm kind of reconciled to that, but I don't have serious gender issues. But somebody with serious gender issues has a thing going on with them that has a tendency to be sad-making, whether or not they want to mess with their genitals or not.
So you agree with me?
Well, I'm saying that, you're talking about these suicide statistics.
Yes.
And where that somebody's roughly as likely to kill him or herself whether or not they have surgery.
Correct.
But I think the larger point is that people who have serious gender issues have this issue to wrestle with, and that is sad-making. And I don't know that you can generalize to argue against the surgery. I think you can generalize to say that on average, somebody who's got serious gender issues might be less happy than frickin' Chris Hemsworth.
Well, I think that one of the keys to the whole study, though, I believe, and I think we went over this, and I'm willing to go over it again with people, relax your hand, is that they're actually more likely to kill themselves.
But you said only slightly, 45% versus 40%.
No. You weren't listening. They're more likely to kill themselves, I believe, if they've had the surgery than if they don't. I believe it does, at the very least, whatever problem they have, it doesn't make it any better. And I think there may be numbers that it makes it worse. Because what happens is they have the surgery, and for about a year, when they follow up, they find that they're really, really happy because they've got this new gender and they're excited and they want to check it out. But after about 5 or 6 years, they realize they're still the same old miserable person that they were before, and it didn't really help. And that's when they get suicidal.
Well, I mean, that's...
So as usual, what we're doing is we're taking people that really need psychiatric help, and the Democrats, instead of just saying, you know what, you need to get over this, you need to have a psychiatrist help you get over this, the Democrats are encouraging them to do this operation, which actually doesn't help and makes them worse.
Well, hold on. Now, we can argue about whether the surgery helps or not, and you say it doesn't. I don't have as big a problem with that as you saying they need to get over it.
Well, they do. They need to get over it. Absolutely.
Yeah, but do you tell other people? Do you tell somebody who's suffering from, I don't know, bipolar, they need to get over it?
They need to see a psychiatrist help them get over it, yeah. I mean, if somebody came in here and said, I believe that I need to be a woman to be happy, I would say, well, you need a psychiatrist so that you can stop feeling like you need to be a woman to be happy. Because even if they turn you into a woman, you're still not going to be happy, I assure you.
Well, you're generalizing across all transgender people.
Well, yes, I have to, because we're talking about policy for a whole society.
Well,
I can't make the policy for the one kook out there that just really, it really makes them happy.
You're telling a whole group of people who have a well-established gender orientation, which is contrary to their biological gender. It's not a frickin' illusion. It's not a mirage. It's a bunch of people who feel this way, that they need to get over it.
I actually... If there
Do you know anybody who's been cured?
If there was a whole group of French people, if all French people, if 40 to 45% of French people were killing themselves, I would say, French people, your problem is you need to see psychiatrists. And telling them to get over it and not have operations to have their berets removed or whatever, their mustaches, whatever it is French people have, would not solve the problem.
They have baguettes.
The compassionate thing to do would be to tell the 40% of French, would be to say, look, 40% of you are killing yourselves. Clearly, indulging this is not going to help you. It's better for you to seek medical help.
How old are these statistics, by the way?
Like 2015.
I don't know, because it seems, I don't know, I would question this 40%.
Well,
I would also question the idea that transgender people uniformly feel some desire to mess with their genitals, because that's just not reflected in, I think, what's going on. I'm not totally up on transgender people, and I don't know that you can generalize, but I think there are a lot of transgender people out there who are content, or who are as content as they can be, without going for bottom surgery.
Okay, Rick.
And you're saying that like a whole area of, and I don't know if it's classified as mental illness or whatever, but it's this one special area where people should just get over it.
They should. I wouldn't just slap them. If they came in here, I wouldn't just like slap them and say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I would say this idea of you becoming a woman is not helping you. You need to seek help to get over it. Yes.
Well,
get over
you
that
don't, you don't
idea.
think, well, I'd
and,
also...
And I'll tell you why. Rick, I'll explain it to you a different way. If I went to a planet and 40% of the people on that planet thought that they needed to drink this water on the planet, and 40% of them killed themselves after drinking it, I'd say, you need to stop drinking that stuff or figure out why you're drinking it. I wouldn't say, yes, enjoy it, because 40% death rate is meaningless. That's irrelevant.
That statistic just seems nuts to me.
What if it was 30%?
Even 20%. But
yeah,
but thing one is, of course, everybody with gender issues should see a therapist and explore those issues. Unless,
explore those issues. They should get over it. They should stop wanting to be the other sex. That's part of what's driving
all
them
right,
nuts.
so I think we've reached a point where we can move on because we've got a lot of
wait
stuff
minute.
to talk about.
I've got some yelling to do here.
No, because like
All right, here's the next thing I have to say.
All right, so but let's just stop and say like you want transgender people to get over it. I'm saying that's ridiculous. That's as ridiculous as saying that anybody with any issue should get over it. And obviously transgender people should, if they feel the need to see a therapist, and probably most people do, given that we live in this society. Yeah, of course they should get therapy.
Rick, what if I was into stump porn and I told you, Rick, I want to get rid of one of my legs so I can have stump sex. Now there are doctors that'll do it. Should I? Should I chop off one of my legs because I'm really into stump sex and I don't want to get over it?
That's the same argument that like you don't want gay people to get married because somebody will marry his horse. Stump people are like, what, one person in 1 million, 2 million, whatever?
Well, they're out there and there are more and more. And by the way, what's the difference between chopping off your penis and chopping off your leg?
Well, the one is a ridiculous
What's
aberration
ridiculous?
used for hyperbole, like marrying your horse, and the other is an issue that affects potentially millions of people in America.
Why? When they can put new heads, when they can give people 2 heads, I guarantee there will be people out there that want to have an extra head. And they'll say, I've never felt comfortable with myself. I've always felt like I should have another head.
Well, in the science fiction future, 100 years from now, people will be able to, like angry teens, instead of being goths, they'll walk around and they'll be little T-Rexes.
Yeah, and I'm telling you,
with nose rings.
I'm telling you the best thing to do would be to say, no, you have to get used to being a boy or a girl. And we need to help
the tide
you
of
get
history
used
is
to that.
going to wash over you and just leave dust.